Welcome. We have no name yet, so hold for that.
To the podcast we started because Mr. Logan made us do podcast projects and we ended up being better at it than we thought we would be.
Yes, we're naturals.
I mean...
Maybe it's Maybelline. Ooh, nice. Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Well, that's Sarah.
Oh, that's Bridget. But
yeah.
You knew that.
You knew that because you're our teacher. Anyway. Okay.
So what are we talking about today, Bridget?
We are talking about the crazy, not so crazy Lizzie Borden.
Like, low-key, I get it.
Yeah, same.
Lizzie Borden murder case.
Yeah.
Very low-key because I'm not... Let's talk about it.
Yeah, jump right in.
I have my information right here. Lizzie Borden. So we all know the nursery rhyme. Lizzie Borden with an axe gave her father 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her stepmom 41. And then you have to jump 40 times through the jump rope. You didn't do that?
I don't even know if I could do that 40 times. Is that just a me thing?
I don't remember. It was so long ago. Did I ever make it? I have no idea.
Like, I would stop counting or for sure mess up way before 40.
That's
or
okay.
41.
That's okay. It's just it's not that deep.
It's for children. Go ahead.
Yes. So the murders took place August 4th, yes, 1882 in Fall River, Massachusetts. New England, am I right?
1, 2, 1, 3, 4. Don't ask.
I won't.
Okay.
Let's start at the beginning.
Let's.
Lizzie Borden lived with her sister Emma in their nice fancy house. Her father, Andrew Borden, was a very successful self-made businessman.
He was rich.
He was worth millions in today's money, which is really only thousands in 1880s money. But he had money. And his first wife's name was Sarah. She is the biological mother of Lizzie and Emma. She died. Very unfortunate. I think she got, it was an illness. I want to say it was a gastrointestinal cancer deal.
The tummy ache that ended her life.
Oh, no.
That was extra.
So Andrew remarries a woman named Abby, who she's not crazy wealthy, but she's upper society. So, you know, in those nice little social circles. And Emma and Lizzie don't like her. They do not get along with her. Lizzie literally calls her Mrs. Borden, like, doesn't address her as mom. Like, they don't.
There's no mom.
Like her.
Mommy.
And here's why, is because Andrew, with all his estates and riches, is like giving pieces of his estate and money to Abby and her family. So people that Lizzie and Emma don't even know are getting all these assets that should belong to them.
All while they can't flush their own toilets.
Yes, so even though Andrew was very successful and very wealthy, he was also extremely cheap, right? So they didn't have indoor plumbing in their house. Indoor plumbing had been invented by then. Like, buddy, you can splurge on indoor plumbing.
A little bit. Like, could you imagine how much that really would have cost back then?
I don't.
A hot quarter? Like.
A hot quarter. Which is like $10 million in today's money.
Who knows?
We love inflation.
Yes, we do. Oh, no. Okay.
So, Emma and Lizzie are both in their 30s by 1882, and they still live at home. So they're spinsters. I mean, they have no chance at this point. They're going to be single forever.
I mean, hey, nothing wrong with that.
No.
To some.
Unless you're a woman in the 1880s.
True.
Then there's everything wrong.
And you're like a loser and whatever.
Yeah, so... But Lizzie she was a Sunday school teacher. She was very involved in her church. She was involved in, like, women's rights. Not like a big women's rights group, but just like we're women and we can do things.
Okay, girl. So,
I mean, she's not an outcast from society. Like, she has friends. She fits in. She's, like, living.
At the moment.
But everybody kind of knew that stuff was going on with the Bordens. Everybody knew that Abby was getting all these assets that Lizzie and Emma wanted and, you know, kind of had a right to because that's their family.
Because, you know, actual mommy dearest died.
So people know that there's discontentment, especially from the maid, Bridget Sullivan, who also lived the Borden family. Wow, Bridget, how does it feel to have such a historical name?
Let me just tell you, I don't know why I'm doing this right now, but I low-key like that we are somehow involved in this story so many years later.
Oh my god, are we both?
Yes, we are.
But I died like pretty early.
I mean,
on,
I died too.
Eventually.
That's the fate.
Bridget Sullivan was not murdered.
No. Sorry. But she did die.
Yeah.
All of them died.
Because this is
spoiler alert.
like 100 million years ago.
Yeah.
So let's get on to a couple days before the murders. The entire family got sick. And Abby Borden was like, oh my gosh, somebody's trying to poison us. Which is such an overreaction.
And it's so extra.
It is. It's a little dramatic.
Yes.
But she kind of had a point. Andrew did have a lot of enemies that he made while he was rising to the top.
Little did he know his daughter would be one.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And it was also just, oh wait, I'll talk about their vacation in a minute. But so a couple days before they all get sick, it was discovered that it was probably some bad meat or milk that had been left out. They probably weren't poisoned. Abby, calm down.
They were just dumb and left raw meat on the counter too
Chilling.
long.
Except
Yeah.
that's how my parents defrost meat. So.
Well, yeah, defrost it that way, but like don't leave it there and then like cut off piece by, oh, it's Tuesday, let's get this.
Ew, is that what they did?
Probably.
Oh my god.
I mean, why would you just leave meat out? Cook the whole thing and then use it accordingly.
See, I
You
was
feel me?
picturing that they had cooked it but left the cooked meat out, which was also like kind of gross.
That
but
is kind of gross, but I feel
if
like
it
you
was
would for sure get
raw-
sick if it was raw.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So that's why they got sick.
Yeah. Mixed with bad milk.
Oh.
Mm.
And then, oddly enough, Sarah Borden's brother, John Morse, stops by unexpectedly. He doesn't normally visit the family, but he stops by the night before and he's like, I'm going to spend the night. Hope that's okay. And they said, yeah, sure. Go up in the guest bedroom because it's all made for you.
And we got you, boo.
So, not suspicious, but weird.
Definitely weird.
Odd.
Especially since, I mean,
Not the
you haven't been
norm.
around,
Well, considering what happened the next day.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little timeline for you.
Do.
So the family gets up. They all eat breakfast together. Emma goes to run some errands. Bridget goes to wash some windows, like around the house, doing her maid duties. John goes for a walk and then goes to visit another niece of his. And Andrew Borden also goes for a walk, but not with John. I don't know, because John's going to visit somebody else. Anyways. And
It's like when you say bye to each other and then like start walking in the same direction. Like, this is awkward.
and then you're like, okay,
I'm just gonna walk to the left.
I'm going to walk slightly behind this person.
You like totally start walking slower than the other one.
Absolutely.
God.
Sometimes I'll just go in the bathroom if there's one. I'll just be like,
Or just drop. Be dramatic.
yes, be dramatic. So we know that Abby, Lizzie, and Bridget are home. Bridget finishes washing the windows and goes upstairs to go to sleep. She wakes up a few hours later to Lizzie
Allegedly.
yelling, Bridget, come down! Someone's killed father! So she runs downstairs into the living room, and Andrew Borden's body is laying on the couch in the middle of the living room, and his face, not his head, his whole face has been hacked
Gone.
with a hatchet 11 times. He was hit in the face with a hatchet 11 times while he was napping.
That is rude.
The skull is worse than the crime scene photo.
Look them up. There's photos.
Or don't if you're squeamish.
Or do, because YOLO. It's gnarly.
So they call the police. They call a doctor. A neighbor comes running over to be like, oh, what's going on? Do you need help? And while the police are like trying to figure out what happened, they're all around Andrew's body, Bridget and the neighbor go upstairs to kind of get away from all that action happening. And what do they see as they are coming up the stairs, looking directly into the guest bedroom? Abby Borden's body. Because guess what? She had also been attacked with a hatchet and hit 19 times.
You guessed it, in the face.
That's just slight overkill,
Little.
I'm gonna say.
But let's just like start talking about coincidences. Like, definitely didn't like mom number 2. More so overkill. All in the face.
Absolutely.
And they just had to get rid of dad for collateral damage.
And Abby died 90 minutes before Andrew Borden. So when questioned, Lizzie was like, I was in the backyard. I was in the shed in the backyard looking for a tool or something. Oddly enough, they go into the shed. The floor is completely covered in dust. There were no footprints in the dust. She had obviously not been in there. But, she wasn't feeling well. She just wanted to go lie down. I mean, her parents had just been murdered. She needed to go lie down. So the police
know how that can affect someone.
Don't really question her. And they just let her leave. They don't check her for any kind of evidence. They don't check around for any kind of evidence. They're just like, okay, that's fine. They find a couple weapons, but none of them are identified as the murder weapons, even though one suspiciously looks like it had been broken off in order to conceal evidence.
Like the handle.
Yes, the handle of the hatchet had been broken off. So, all in all, not good police work.
No, not even a little.
They did, and they performed the autopsies on the dining room table.
On the table that they had dinner, lunch, breakfast.
Yes.
Anything. Snacks. That's just,
I mean, it's just odd.
It's very odd.
And when Andrew got home, actually, he didn't see Abby. So Abby was definitely dead before Andrew Borden returned home. When he asked Lizzie where she was, Lizzie claimed that Abby had received a letter from a sick friend that was asking Abby to go visit her.
But no letter could be found, so who really knows?
The friend also did not corroborate the story. She was like, no.
Never happened.
Didn't happen.
Wasn't there.
So,
who's that?
All a little sus. Lizzie Borden is arrested on August 11th. And during her inquest, which I guess is to decide whether or not you actually go to trial, she first off was on morphine to calm her nerves. So let's just take all of this with like a grain of salt. If she's innocent, this poor girl who just lost both her parents is on morphine, and the DA who was questioning her was said to be much more aggressive than he needed to be, and like he was pushing too hard to try and
clearly
get her.
wanted to get her.
So if she is innocent, that's kind of sad. But if she's guilty, like you're guilty. You deserve it.
Yes.
But she constantly contradicted herself. At one point, she said she didn't hear anything when she was outside. At another, she said that she heard like a grunt and a groan or like a weird whacking sound.
I read one story about how she took her father's boots off before he took his nap or fell asleep. Look at said photo of him dead on the couch. Boots are still on.
Okay.
So nothing she's saying is making sense.
Yes.
It's like making up the lie the first time and then forgetting said lie and making up another. Like, no one believes her.
Mm-hmm. But then also doing that more than once.
Exactly.
And then she also would refuse to answer some questions that would have helped her in the long run. So all in all, it's not great. So she is tried, I believe, in June or July of that year. Or maybe the following year. She's tried during the summertime.
We know what season.
Mm-hmm. And I will point out that in her trial, they did throw away the inquest. They were like, okay, this isn't, like, the DA was obviously being way too aggressive. You were on drugs, so obviously couldn't.
Like a hardcore one, too.
Yeah.
Was she asleep? Like,
I don't.
She awake during the interview?
Like, eyes half closed.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't hear anything.
No. Where am I?
What day is it?
Who died?
Who died?
Horrible. Okay, go ahead.
She did not take the stand during her own trial. So she couldn't even fight for her own defense.
No. I
And
like stick up for herself.
yeah, not that it would have helped if she was consistently contradicting herself.
Exactly. It's probably good that she didn't get on the stand, especially if homie was like being too aggressive with her anyway.
Absolutely. So they have the trial. The police who testified were talking about the murder weapon.
Mm-hmm.
That was never found, but they gave contradictory statements about the broken weapon that was most likely to be the murder weapon. So they couldn't take, like, the judge and jury couldn't take anything from it because they both had like a disagreement about I think what was broken or like why it was broken and stuff like that. So that evidence, there's no murder weapon, makes it very difficult to pin the murder on somebody.
Exactly.
We all know this. If you murder somebody, get rid of that weapon.
Yeah.
Don't murder anybody.
No. Don't murder anyone.
But like,
But if you're
gonna
going
do it,
to,
do it right, man.
get rid of the body and weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Not just one.
Mm. But like, if one is going to be laying in the middle of the living room.
Body?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mm.
there's that.
Also, don't kill him in your own house. But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man.
I mean, I could go on.
Smart.
She could have done so many things different.
Why didn't she just kill him in the shed in the back?
Where she supposedly was in one story, upstairs in another one, like.
Mm-hmm. So,
Anywho.
things aren't looking good, but a jury of 12 men in the 1880s with a spinster who
Exactly.
allegedly hacked her parents to death. No woman could ever do that.
No, not a Sunday school
They're
teacher.
too delicate.
Yeah.
So she is found not guilty. And even though she's found not guilty, she is most definitely ostracized from Fall River society for the rest of her life, despite the fact that she continues to live there.
She was not having a hot girl summer.
No, absolutely
No.
not. She had a convicted of murder, not convicted, arrested for murder girl summer.
You get it.
So she and Emma inherited not only their father's assets and estate, but because Abby died first and all of her assets went to Andrew, they inherited Abby's and Andrew's wealth and estates. I think when Lizzie died, she was worth about $4 million in today's money, which is like, I don't know how much it was back then.
$20.
It doesn't seem like a lot, but then you're like, $4 million. I'll never see that amount of money in my lifetime.
Ever.
Unless I start reviewing toys on YouTube.
Yeah. Or, yeah. Yeah.
Oh gosh. I love it. So, I mean, the murder is officially unsolved, technically. But, I mean, everybody kind of knows Lizzie did it. She's a little unhinged. There are a few speculations that she suffered from a dissociative disorder, so that she might have dissociated, killed her parents, and then reassociated.
So, like a sociopath.
No, more of a personality disorder.
Okay.
She could have been a sociopath, too. But I think that if she was a sociopath, we would kind of know more.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. There's talk that a dissociative identity disorder a lot of times happens to people who are abused when they're children. So there was a little bit of that floating around. This is way more recent than the 1880s. 1880s, people just thought women went crazy. Or that some madman came in with an axe, waited for 90 minutes, and then killed somebody else with an
It's
axe.
like, I have a feeling someone else is coming. I must kill them too.
There was a little bit of speculation that it could have been the uncle, John Morse, but he had a super airtight alibi. There was only speculation about it because it was too airtight. Like, they were like, he's giving a little...
Like, too good to be true.
Too much detail, right? So, but he really had no motive. He wouldn't have inherited anything.
I was going to say, because Lizzie, I mean, even Emma, even though it was more so on Lizzie, had all the motive.
Yeah, so... It's officially unsolved. We know Lizzie did it.
We so know Lizzie did it.
Lizzie and Emma did have a falling out. There are a few speculations that Lizzie was actually lesbian, or at least bisexual, I guess, and had a relationship with the maid Bridget Sullivan, which was found out by Abby, which is why Lizzie killed her parents. But Bridget ended up marrying a man. She did later confess on her deathbed that she lied in her testimony for Lizzie, but she didn't say what the lie
what
was.
she lied about.
So we'll never know.
No, what I would love to have seen was Lizzie on like 2020 in today's age, like defending
Absolutely.
herself, trying to.
Because then you can actually see, you can see it in their eyes.
Exactly. You could totally tell when someone's lying unless they're that good. But even then, it's like, I still want to know why you did it.
Yeah. But we'll
We'll never know. So rest in peace,
The
Borden.
two sisters had a falling out. Once they had their falling out, they never saw each other again. Lizzie died of gallbladder complications, I think, after she had a surgery, and then Emma died a year after her. So we'll just never know.
We'll never know. But now
We can
you
speculate.
know what we know.
And that's it.
That's it.
And scene.
Scene.